In Neville Goddard's book, The Awakened Imagination, he says there is only one thing in the world: imagination and all our deformations of it. In this video, I want to dissect what exactly he means by this and how you can completely shift your reality and your identity and your self-concept through using the power of your imagination. Let's talk about it. Hey fam, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Rahosa, and if this is the first time that you're seeing my face, then welcome. It is so nice to have you here. On this channel, I am here to remind you of the creative power that you have that lies within your very essence to create the life of your dreams. I believe that we were created to create the best world possible, and that begins by first creating the best world possible for ourselves. That way we have that full cup energy to bring to the world around us and to the people in our lives. If you're interested on topics like spirituality, personal development, co-creation with the universe, aka manifestation, and expressing your creativity with the world, then this channel is going to be your best friend. Okay, so please leave this video a big like right now, leave me a comment, and hit that subscribe button, because not only will these videos be shown more to you on your feed, but it also tells the YouTube algorithm that this is the place to be. Now, without further ado, let's get into the topic of today's video: imagination. So what really is imagination? Imagination is the only real thing, and I don't mean that in any cheesy quote kind of way. No, I mean that imagination is the only reality. Consciousness is the only reality, and our imagination exists in consciousness. Your consciousness is an extension of God, the creator, the universe. God is not some man in the sky, but rather we have the very power of God because we are a part of that energy essence. Whether you want to call it God or universe or source or light, it doesn't really matter. We're talking about the same force of everything in this universe. We are a part of that source. And the part of us that is that source is our consciousness. It's not our bodies, it's not our egos. It's our very imagination that is connected to God itself. So therefore, when we're thinking in this way, it's not God as some theory that is creating and manifesting things for us in our life, but it is our own imagination, our own consciousness on a higher level that we can't fully comprehend and understand right now while we're limited in this human vessel. But it is our consciousness that is the creator. Our consciousness creates worlds, is what is at the end of the day going to create the life that you're dreaming of. It's not going to happen by anything or anyone external to you. The work must first be done in consciousness and then mirrored back to you in your reality. And this is the very premise of Neville Goddard's teachings, and not only him, tons of other spiritual philosophies and ancients teach us that God is not some separate entity that is separate from us, but rather it is a part of us and our higher consciousness. Neville Goddard studied this ancient wisdom called Kabbalah that is like the root of his teaching of decoding the secrets and the mysticism and the symbolism in the Bible and the Old Testament. And Kabbalah is something that basically, as soon as I came out the womb, I was studying Kabbalah because my parents have been studying it for 30 plus years. So I was born into that environment, learning the principles of Kabbalah and studying it more and more as I got older myself. So what does this actually mean? Imagination is everything. Like, you might be thinking, no, it's not. I clearly see there are things in my reality that are very real, and not everything that I think in my mind is actual reality. So I got no clue what you're talking about over here, because that ain't the truth for me. So what does this mean? Okay, this means that every single thing in your world is a result, is a byproduct, is a manifestation of your own consciousness, of your own perception of reality. So the things that you see in your world, they are not real. This world has a very strong illusion, and it is only projecting your beliefs that you believe are true. You came into this world to have this human experience. There were some things that you agreed to before you came into this world that were automatically programmed in your brain. All right, so you didn't choose every single program. You didn't choose to have the subconscious beliefs and blocks that you do, but all of us come in with some sort of blockages, some sort of, Kabbalah would call it a tikkun or kliput, which I'm not going to get into the whole topic right now, but we all come in with some baggage that we need to overcome. What's important for us to realize, though, is that although all of our baggage is different, we all come in with different beliefs, we also come in with that blueprint and the ability to change our beliefs. So if we want to change our reality, we need to understand first and foremost that everything in our reality right now is a manifestation of our beliefs somehow. That's not to beat ourselves down. That's not to blame ourselves. That's not to get upset with life itself. But it's for us to take that responsibility to know that if I created this somehow on some subconscious level, I have the beliefs that I do because of my beliefs that I hold about the world around me, about who I am and my role in this world. That is how the world is reflected back to me. We need to have that understanding first and foremost. When you have this knowledge, we can utilize this for creating magical experiences in our life and creating a magical life. All right, so we got number 1 down. We have the awareness that imagination is everything. We know that it is with our minds that we create the external world. What's the problem? The problem is that our brains like the familiar. Our brains are a part of this body consciousness. They are very limited. Because of the world that we live in, our imagination gets more and more suppressed because we are trained and we're programmed to want to go back to the familiar. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. He talks about the familiar past. And how although consciously we may want to reach certain goals and change our identity and shift our self-concept, like we want to lose weight, we want to be a millionaire, we want to have the successful career, and we want to have the successful, loving, happy, abundant, beautiful relationship. These are desires. But especially if we've never experienced something before, it's a whole lot easier to recall the past experiences that we've had and replay the old story over and over and over again, rather than exercising a new part of our minds called the imagination, which will help us see into a future that has not yet existed. This is the key to creation in life, is that we have to be able to mentally see where we want to go. We have to be able to see, not just see it, but see ourselves being in that life. Can I truly see myself being in a healthy body? Can I truly see myself obtaining this X amount of dollars? Or is that beyond the way that I currently view myself? Is that beyond my current identity and self-concept? The thing is that it takes practice. It takes time to develop the skill of using our imagination, because we are basically forcing our mind, our imagination, to create new neural pathways, because our minds are used to the familiar. Our minds are used to the old story, used to the old program. It does take some mental effort to push ourselves to think about something that has not yet happened or existed. But what does science tell us? That our minds don't know the difference between something that actually happened in the past or something that is happening in our own imagination. So by practicing using our imagination more and more and more to visualize ourselves in the life that we desire, the more that we do that, the more our mind gets reprogrammed with the desired reality. And that is naturally going to align us both spiritually and physically. Because if you think of it from a physical 3D perspective, if we believe that we are the healthiest version of us, what actions are we going to naturally take? Because we keep infiltrating our mind and using our imagination to go into that space. We show up a whole lot differently when we mentally are the version of us that we see ourselves being up here. If in our minds we're constantly living in our past identity, we're going to be victims of our past. Simple as that. When we don't take control, we become the victims of our lives rather than the creator of our lives. And it's not that we're always going to have such strong control over our mental diet, over our minds, and that's okay. I think that there are ebbs and flows to life. You know, we're not always going to be so on top of everything. And I had to learn that lesson myself as I was going through this whole process myself. But at the end of the day, it's a choice that we make. We have to know that we are the only ones responsible for the world that we see around us. We must use our imagination to see beyond what is happening physically around us in our 3D world. It doesn't matter what's going on in your world right now, you can create the life of your dreams. It doesn't matter what's ever happened in the past before. If you tried for your goals in the past and you failed in the past, it doesn't matter. With the power of your mind and imagination, you can create your ideal life in your mind. And the more you go there, the more you tune into that thought, that imaginative thought, the more your brain begins to actually change. New neural pathways form. At first, as soon as you start taking control of your mind, you're gonna be all over the place. Your mind is gonna want to so badly go back to the old way of thinking and your old thoughts and how you can't do it and how you're not good enough and how you failed in the past so you won't be able to create your dream life this time. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times you get pulled back. You're the one with the consciousness over here. It's a choice that you get to make to pull yourself out of that state and continue to reaffirm in and redirect your mind and your imagination. Use your imaginative muscles to continue to input the new story. That is a skill that gets developed more and more over time. The more that you are dedicated to it, the more you create yourself to be the creator of your reality. You're creating something new here, something that's never existed, a version of you that's never existed in your past consciously. In order to do that, that takes dedication. That takes you being a visionary, and you need to believe in it first and foremost. It doesn't matter what the external world says about your circumstances. You need to believe in where you're going, and you need to redirect, and you need to take responsibility for your life, because no one else is going to do it for you. Okay, so how do we use our imagination more to create the life that we desire? Number one is practice. Remember, this is a practice. This isn't something that you do once and you're like a professional at it. You need to keep going at it. You need to keep going at it to strengthen your imagination. How good are you at seeing a clear mental image? It doesn't matter if it's like a visualization or if it's just thoughts or however it is that you can mentally get yourself there. It doesn't really matter. But how clear is the vision of what you want in your mind, and how real do you feel like it is? I'll give you an example. For me, I've never been famous before, but if I want to create that type of life, like the famous lifestyle, let's say, I have to ask myself, can I get myself there mentally? And I'll be honest with you, for a while, I've been lacking, okay? Maybe because of subconscious fears, maybe because of all this stuff that I've been uncovering, and that's okay, that happens, it comes up in our lives. I'm telling you this because I'm going through this with you as well. And you're gonna see me on this journey, okay? If you're here in the early days of my channel, I am going through this in real time with you. So you're definitely gonna wanna subscribe, join the community, because it's only going up from here, okay? Just so you know. But I have to be honest with myself and create that mental image in my mind. I have to be able to see myself as that version. For a long time, I couldn't. For a long time, I was replaying old stories again and again in my head, how I'm not good enough, how I'm not this and that, and all these excuses, and I'm over it. And I feel like this is like the point that we get to when we want to create the life of our dreams that we desire. It's like at some point we're just over it. We're over the life that we're currently living, and we're ready for a big change. So now I'm doing my part of seeing myself already there where I want to be. I actually set out like a 3-month goal for myself for the way that I wanted to show up differently on YouTube. Like not just the results that I want to receive, but also how am I going to level up my content and level up my background and my scenery and all this stuff. So I started thinking about all these things. The wheels started turning, and I made this commitment to myself, and I said I'm going to commit on focusing on growing this channel, focusing on YouTube, and committed to building this community of master manifestors on this channel. And as soon as I set that intention, as soon as I committed to that vision, my dad called me and he's like, you're never gonna guess who I just met. And I'm like, who? And he's like, I just bought this microphone off this guy. He has so many skills. He can help you with your channel. He knows all the technology to get. He's worked in AI and SEO and all this stuff. And he helps people build their YouTube channels, and he has all these skills. And I'm willing to support you to have him hop on your team and help you. Like, what? I just set out my intention to grow my channel for the next 3 months. And now I'm working with a YouTube manager for at least the next 3 months. Like, how divine is that? And I didn't put any physical actions in order to receive that. My dad just literally hit me up and was like, guess who I just found? So the universe works like that. You put your intention out there, you do the physical things necessary for you to do to reach your desire, because naturally, if you continue thinking that you are that version of you, you naturally do the things that you do if you were that version of you, right? Because it's just natural. And then you just lay back and watch the universe deliver to you in unexpected ways. Like, that was an unexpected way for me. I didn't know that I was gonna get support in that way, you know, for growing my YouTube channel. And that's just one small, but not small, big thing that came from me just declaring and setting this intention of, this is what I'm doing, this is the life I'm creating, this is the identity that I now see myself in, using my imagination to continuously see myself as that new identity, and boom, now I have someone on my team. So we need to be able to see it. If we're always living mentally in the past, we're not going to move forward, right? And that sounds obvious. It sounds like, duh, if I'm constantly like living in my old identity, I'm not going to move forward. But that's what we see every single day, right? That's why we see people not being able to move forward with their businesses, not being able to be past that threshold of actually becoming successful, because they give up on their own imagination. They give into the 3D world. They give into what they're seeing with their five senses and not enough to the real reality, which is our consciousness that is creating everything. We give too much damn power to the external world rather than the real reality, which is our internal world, our imagination. It's easier, it's comfortable to stay where we are. It's comfortable to just have our brain constantly go back to the past story. But the best thing you can do, and the most important thing to have discipline with, is those mental muscles, right? You want to train those physical muscles, that's great, but you can only do that if you first start up here. You need to first be able to see yourself there and get yourself to take the physical actions. You won't be able to physically have the discipline if you don't first have the mental discipline. Mental discipline is number one. This is the true test of faith. It takes effort to use your imagination and see yourself somewhere new. But this is what it takes to bring these new experiences towards you. If you're mentally living in the world you desire, that alone will bring that desire towards you. This is the magic. This is the power of manifestation. So in summary, to summarize this video, it's quite a long one. Don't wait for your world to change externally. That's what everybody does. And then that's why nobody changes, because we're not taking that responsibility, because we have it backwards. Live as though you're already there and show up that way every day. Sounds simple, but actually doing it, that's what will set you apart from the next person who has the wisdom, but is not actually doing it. It's the actual doing of it part that is what gets you results. Are you actually using your imagination consistently every day and feeling like you are there, bringing yourself into that new state of mind? Looking at the physical world, that's very limited. We're going to constantly be shown limitations, but using our imagination, we become limitless. We become limitless. Okay, I want to thank you so much for giving me your time and for watching this video all the way till this point. I want you to leave a comment of a red heart down below so I know who watch this video all the way to the end, because I love you guys so much. Leave this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Love you. Mwah.